Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, it's September. We need to talk Santa Cruz County for August. Let's get into it.
Yes, let's jump in. So we're saying what happened over the summer. We're going to talk specifically about prices, but number two, we're also going to talk about the sales cycle. So how are we looking? What are people saying about the number of closed sales? And then in terms of sale to list price ratio, right? So um, how competitive the markets were over the last few months. So we'll focus mostly on August. And what happened in Santa Cruz County was definitely different than we saw in the other counties, right? So this is 2 months of increased median price, right? So that's not something we saw anywhere else. It's an increase of over 5% from July to August. Up nearly 13% since the beginning of the year. So that is definitely unique in terms of there's a lot of price appreciation. I know in Santa Clara County it was like 20, but there's been declines, right? So it's a little bit of a different market for sure in Santa Cruz County. If you look month over month, we're sticking month over month. You can see here the complete market. Looking at that, I thought, wow, Santa Cruz County side of Los Gatos. So you see Los Gatos, it's the part that falls in Santa Cruz County, and that's looks like an all-time high price. Felton, they're volatile, up over last month, but been going up and down. I think Watsonville, the Santa Cruz part of Watsonville, I think that's an all-time high price, definitely going back to 2018. Aptos, after 3 months of decline, a bit of a bounce up. So, interesting there to kind of see that correction. Scotts Valley is up marginally, but 2 months lower since the all-time high in June, right? So we haven't quite seen those peaks. Some of these cities just are bouncing back or maybe retreating from all times. And then you have Santa Cruz, the city, which is down 3 months in a row now, right? So a marginal decrease, but a continued marginal decrease. So it really depends where you are. And the common interest side, kind of like the single family home, not quite 2 months, but a big bounce back there. That's up over July by 11%. So it had been decreasing and kind of jumped back up again. So there was a lot of interest in Santa Cruz markets. If you see here, look at that. I mean, where it was big, right? Aptos, wild swings. I mean, it was 918,000, and then it went to 626,000, and now it's back to 900,000. Those are some pretty big changes. I think Santa Cruz, that common interest market, I think that's an all-time high, at least since 2018. And then Scotts Valley. So 925,000, what we saw in July, it wasn't an all-time high, but it was really, really close. So then we saw this pretty big correction here in August. Although we've seen this before in the market there in Scotts Valley, May to June, there was a big change, big correction in September, October 2019. So it could be volatile there, but that was definitely a wild swing for sure. Now, in terms of the sales cycle, someone's going to say, hey, it's that time of year, sales go down. Well, not here. So this is also unique to Santa Cruz. We just didn't see this a lot. So I think it actually ended up at 218 sales. So that's about a 15% increase from July to August. It nearly matching the months this year so far with the highest number of closed sales, right? So super close to what might turn out to be the peak. We won't know till the end of the year, but this is a lot of closed sales. I mean, if you look at it compared to prior August, I mean, it was a big month. So then you would expect you would see a lot of green, right? Where August surpassed July in the number of closed sales in a lot of these different markets. Now Watsonville, wild swings, 34 in June, 14 in July, 32 in August. And so you're seeing kind of things move around a lot. Santa Cruz, that was a big month. It was only second to 74 sales, which we saw in April. And both of those numbers, right, we haven't seen in a very long time, several years. So there's still quite a few sales in Santa Cruz. Felton, the last few months have been big. But 11 for August is kind of right in the middle of prior year, so that seems pretty normal. Boulder Creek coming down, but June and July were 30 and 27, which were big months, so just couldn't kind of sustain that. But there's still a lot of activity, even in the common interest market. Look at that, 42 closed sales in common interest in August. That's down from 47, so a marginal decrease there. Aptos with 10 sales, that's spring-like. I have in my notes, spring-like. That's quite a few. Saw 11 in March and April. Santa Cruz is down, but pretty aligned with prior August. So as you look at these kind of bigger markets there in Santa Cruz, it's kind of in line. I mean, I think the best thing to do, and I keep saying it, is the Aculist weekly. So these are, weekly numbers in terms of closed sales, and it shows you compared to, last year and the year before, so that you can kind of see what's happening. And you can see here, sometimes we're trending higher, sometimes trending pretty right on. Haven't really seen Santa Cruz trend lower, but we'll have to keep our eye. We're coming to the end of the quarter here. But if you're looking for like that cycle information, if that's really important to you, this is definitely a great place to grab it. So that answers the first two questions. I think in terms of competitiveness, that's definitely where we've seen the sale to list price ratio. So second, month, it's dropped from 108 to 104 over the last 3 months, right? So, but buyers are still paying over ask on average, right? So in Santa Cruz County and single family home markets, it's now been over a year at 100% or more. So that is, is that going to stick? I don't know. It sure looks like it. 104 is still pretty unique to 2021. And if you look at the market specifically at the city level, La Selva Beach and Los Gatos were the only two markets under 100% in August, right? So the buyers are paying a little under ask in those two markets, but everywhere else, we're paying higher. SoCal has been volatile over the past year. It was 112, then it was 98%. So different points this year. It's been really hard to tell what's happening there. Brookdale, 2 sales. Corlitos, 4 sales. So 103 for those few sales, but that's the kind of the top end of the list. The cities where it decreased, right, where you paid more on average over ask in July than August, listed here. But again, you had to take into context, like Felton's down, but 107% was the highest we've seen ever. It happened before, but it's the highest. So it happened in April, May, and July, but 107 is top. Scotts Valley had 100%, 108 in April, spent 3 months at 105 and now down to 103. So we're still, kind of seeing some marginal decreases. Santa Cruz, the city, sale to list price ratio declined for 3 months since the all-time high of 112 in May. So some markets are declining in price and sale to list price, and then some are kind of showing a bigger trend, like Los Gatos was up big in median price, Watsonville and Ben Lomond up as well. So that's where you're seeing a little bit of a mix in terms of what people are paying. Now, last slide, competitiveness at the common interest market. The county's at 104% of ask in August. So that's down from that all-time high of 106 in July. So it lost a couple percentage points on average. La Selva Beach went sale in July and August, so keep that in mind. Capitola, 2 sales, but technically it's 110% is the highest all-time, I believe, on those 2 sales. I'm just reporting what I saw. And then Santa Cruz declining for 3 months since the all-time high of 109 in May. So common interest markets too were also really high. We're not necessarily seeing that sustained, but it was really mixed, except for those few sales cities on top. So generally it was down a little bit, and that's how you see that county come down a couple of percent. But there is no blanket to this. There's no one thing to say about the market. It going up in price is definitely unique, and seeing that bounce back in closed sales makes you think about what, scratch your head on that cycle. But anyway, we'll keep our eye on things, and we'll be back next month to talk again about Santa Cruz.
Perfect. I like the way you put it. I'm just reporting what I saw. Hey, come back next month in October. We'll talk about September. You'll tell us what you saw. Thanks, Michelle.
Make sure to check out our Pro Support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.